GM. A quick update on my altcoin positions. So Pepe, I'm short from the red line, as I mentioned yesterday. So I need to take off. Let me go lower time frame. And be mindful of the trend, right? So I think it's following the first path, but I want to explain what my logic is. So the first path here, which I'll mark in green, I laid this one out yesterday, where basically it dips down into here, pushes higher to possibly make a new high, and then weaken off. So Pepe is stronger than Bitcoin currently. But I was expecting that. That's why I said yesterday that I don't expect necessarily the tops in on these, but I think we are leading towards that. And invalidation still remains up here, and this is still a small position. Across the three of them, Pepe, WIF, and Render, I have 1.5 R. So I have about 0.5 R on each coin. And as it plays out over the next few days, and assuming I'm right, and we get to the right side of the V, right, where these things start to go downwards, I'll close probably one or two of them and then concentrate on the weakest one, which currently is WIF, right? WIF's currently the weakest, as you can see. Hasn't really had much reaction, not in a 4-hour uptrend. It's still in profit below my entry. Invalidation still up there, but I'm still waiting. And I think if it is actually going to go to new lows, it's going to take a while. I fully expect it to go and have at least another push, maybe even push again towards the highs. I don't know. And then Render. So Render has pushed up and made a new high. Again, was expecting this. Drops down, pumps up. Not too concerned about that right now. The invalidation is all the way up here, $12. So, if Render and it's actually pushed into this point of control, so that's actually exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm actually happy to see that, because it was kind of what my expectation was, which is why I entered a small amount. I will see now, because my assumption is still Bitcoin is bearish, and the fact that altcoins are not bearish yet just reminds me of previous mini alt seasons or late stage rallies where Bitcoin weakens, rolls over, altcoins don't. People start to think altcoins are somehow separated from Bitcoin, that it doesn't matter anymore. This time is different. And in my experience, this time has never been different. But it also doesn't mean that my timing could be off, for sure, right? Because in all of this, Bitcoin could continue to weaken. Total 3 could make a new high. Like in May 2021, Bitcoin was below the low. Like Bitcoin topped out here. This is where Bitcoin topped. So let me get the 1-day chart. This is where Bitcoin topped in 2021. Here. And so everything had a dip initially, and then Total 3 went to clear new highs before it all crashed. But the difference now is I don't think this is an end of market cycle move. I think it's a mid-cycle move, and Bitcoin is weakening off, and I don't expect as much altcoin outperformance. Right? The time when the alts really push and broadly outperform for weeks, that's usually like an overall top signal for the market, which I don't expect. I do put some weighting on the fact that it could all be over. You'd be very naive if you didn't consider that, but I don't think that the entire market has topped. I think this is far more likely to be a local top. And so if I see Bitcoin weakness and I see altcoin strength and I think it's a local top, then everything's moving pretty much as I would expect. Right? I would expect the alts to bounce harder because they're higher beta, lower liquidity, easier to move, and people have taken their eyes off Bitcoin, which is again why there's no ETF flows, right? They've disappeared again. People are now trading alts instead of Bitcoin. This is how the weakness presents. right? We could have alts and Bitcoin going up together in this push. This push especially. We had alts and BTC going up because Bitcoin had hundreds of millions of TradFi flows. There was just cumulatively billions of dollars flowing in from boomers. And so then all the crypto money, all the stable coins in the market could flow into alts. What I don't think people are really considering is what happens whenever all those billions have flowed into alts. All the boomer money has flowed into Bitcoin, but then the boomer money stops. And then you need billions, like then you need the stable coins in crypto. You need money coming in just to support Bitcoin. Who's going to support Bitcoin when the ETFs aren't buying? That's how Bitcoin loses its strength. And then the altcoins realize, usually they realize later, that, oh, there isn't actually enough demand or support here. And that's how we end up going back to where the origin started, which is the most likely and a really, really good reaccumulation zone, in my opinion, back down here. And I think that it'll be slow and choppy, most likely, but I do think we make it back down there. Unless, and this is the big thing, right, and I have my invalidations very clear, unless Bitcoin can reclaim those 64, 65 levels and we start to see a pickup again, if ETFs start ripping back in consistent inflows, well, boom, away we go again, right? So currently bearish. Altcoins outperforming Bitcoin is further confirmation of that, in my opinion. But invalidations are clear, and we'll see how it goes. GM.